Welcome to this screencast on how to develop plugin in Rails. The basics. We'll be covering some of the basic concepts to get started developing plugins, and we have already seen the Ruby basics and we should be familiar with the concepts already. So let's just jump right in. What I have done here is I've upgraded my machine to latest version of GEMS and Rails. So this is the version that I'll be working on. So let's get started. So one important principle about plugins is you don't expect, you just don't wake up one day and decide, okay, going to write a plugin. You extract from a working application, and what you find can be reused across applications. You make it into a plugin. So if your manager says, let's write a plugin for this problem, then you know what to say, because Rails itself was extracted from a working production application. So let's just create a test project. Rails minus d equals MySQL. I'll just create a Rails app. Let's call it test plugins. Minus minus. So I created a Rails project. Let's just go into this new Rails project. First, let me show you how to just install a plugin. For instance, I want to install a plugin called RESTful Authentication. I just use script plugin, then install. You can just say RESTful Authentication. You can also use wrapped command, wrapped install RESTful Authentication, which is better. And it's available at newbeyondrails.com. If you go to Top Funky, if you search for Top Funky and Wrapped, he has a nice blog article on how we can install a Wrap plugin manager, because it's much faster. As you can see, this thing is slow. If you have Wrapped installed, you don't have this problem when you're maybe doing a live code or doing a presentation. It's much faster. I'm just gonna kill this and let's do just script plugin and then just enter. It gives you all the different commands available. You could do an install, you can do a list, you can do discover, you can do source, unsource. All these options are available. You can just play with it and see how it works. I'm not going to be covering them. So let's see how to create a plugin. I want to create a new plugin. I'm going to use script generate command, plugin, and then let's say plugin test. This will generate a new plugin for us. So it created a vendor, plugins, plugin test, and all the files required for our plugins to work with Rails. Let's open up this in TextMate. So as you can see in vendor, plugins, we have plugin test. Let's open up this init.rb. This is a really important file. just print out testing plugin. Let's go back to the console and do a script console. It's loading the development environment for Rails 202. As you can see, it also printed the testing plugin that we had in the init.rb. Whenever Rails loads the environment, its development environment, it automatically picks up. If there is a init.rb for plugins, it just loads whatever is in there and executes it. Let's do something more useful than just saying testing plugin. Rails version is, this is trivial example since you already, the Rails is printing out what version it is. Just for the sake of doing some exercise, let's do this string and let's restart. Let's quit and run. Go to console again. So it says Rails version is 202. So you have access to all the Rails related environment and API. Since we just access the version constant from Rails environment. So every time the Rails environment is loaded, if you have any plugins, other plugins installed, all of the init.rb for those plugins will be run. Let's go back here. Let's try script runner puts testing init.rb file is loaded or not. See, even when you run the script runner, the Rails actually picks up whatever is in the init.rb. It loads the Rails environment, and that in turn is kind of picking up all the values, that instructions you have in init.rb, and then it's executing whatever command you provide. So to make the plugin do something, every time Rails loads, you need to have the code in the init.rb file. Let's see, you have lib directory. This is also a really important directory. So this plugin test.rb under lib. Before Rails evaluates init.rb, it adds this lib directory to Ruby's load path. Let's do some experimentation. We'll go to script console. Okay, now let's do load path dot select what's the name of the plugin we created. It's plugin test. Okay, so let's look for anything with plugin test lib. Load path list, load path, what is in the load path currently? These are all in the load path right now. Action mailer, Render HTML scanner, action controller, marks development. You can see T plugins, app models, T plugins, app controllers, T plugins, app helpers. Okay, it has to be, I made a mistake here, plugin test. Now we can see this users plugins, vendor plugins, plugin test, lib is also in the load path besides all these other things which is required for Rails. Okay, this tells us how the lib gets added to the load path, and it's nice to see it working. Let's try to create a file inside the lib uh, folder. Let's just create a new file here. So you'll see the importance of lib file here. I'll call it as test hello. Test hello.rb. And let's open up the class object and define a method called hello and just print hi. And we'll go to the init.rb. I'm going to get rid of this since it's slowing down the execution. And let's just say require test hello. If you don't know what require is and how it works in Ruby, I highly recommend you go back and see the screencast for require versus load. Okay, so now require test hello. This makes the hello method available to every object in your Rails app that has this plugin installed. So you have hello defined inside of the class object. And since I have included the test hello, I pulled in this file here in the init.rb. So init.rb is basically a hook, and now that value is available in here for Rails app. Let's see this thing in action. Let's just say script. Let me quit this. I'll do a rec db create all to create the database. It's a nice new task that actually goes and creates the development tests and production databases. And let me just create a model to test this. Generate model. I'll say product, maybe. Doesn't matter what the model name is. We just want to test to see. Let's go to script console. Let's open up this db migrate. I'll just create a, it doesn't matter, just timestamps is enough. Let's do a rec db migrate. Now we have a products table backed up by the product model. And he created this thing. Now I'll just go to script console. Thing that we need to look for right now is just create an instance of product and see if we can invoke the hello method, right? So p equals product dot new. So p dot hello says hi. So it's available for all objects. So this is the basics of plugins, and I'll be building upon this thing and showing you more examples on how we can create plugins for action view, action controller, and so on in the following screencast. So thank you for watching. And see you next time. If you enjoyed this screencast, please recommend me on working with Rails. Thank you. Goodbye.